Rick, could you tell us about the Tupac Biggie situation?
Well, there's a lot of information that's now come out now on the internet. I gotta say, it's a really interesting time to be following all this stuff, and to understand what Puffy's bodyguard is going around saying about all this stuff, and Tupac's got to be rolling over in his grave laughing about all this stuff right now. So you don't have to listen to me about it, but check out on YouTube, check out all the interviews that Puffy's bodyguard saying it.
So Rick, can you want to talk about some of the West Coast stuff at all?
Yeah, I'd love to. Actually, that's my favorite part of all this hip hop stuff. Really, when it comes down to it, Tupac Shakur became kind of a general in West Coast hip hop music, and I think it's a really important thing to talk about for all people that are inspired by West Coast music in general. There's people like Tupac and Easy and MC8 and Cole 187 who have proven themselves to be true throughout all this craziness of this music stuff, and I believe that their music is timeless. I believe that it's some of the deepest African music of all time, and I also believe that Tupac Shakur's spirit is still very, very alive right now, and I believe that he's selecting people through the spirit realm to help assist and to help get jobs done for the movement, the hip hop movement. So I'm a firm believer that I was selected, and it's something that I've always listened to this music my whole life. I was always an Easy guy, I was always an NWA guy, I was always a Dre and Snoop guy. But then something happened in 2008 where I felt like I was definitely selected by the spirit of Tupac and righteousness. And I believe that's a very, very righteous thing. So I just wanted to shed some light on that. I hear a lot of stories about, like Kendrick Lamar says, Tupac visited him in a dream. There was other guys that said, I think DJ Quick said that Tupac haunts his studio or some shit like that. Well, same thing happened to me all the way out in Philadelphia on the East Coast. And I think it's a very important thing for everybody to know, embrace, and understand that all this hip-hop movement stuff has now gone underground again, because all the hip-hop that's out there on TV and all that stuff is not what it used to be, and everybody knows that. So I encourage everybody to get back to underground networking when it comes to hip-hop music, so that one day hip-hop music will be on top again.
Cool. Awesome. So Rick, could you tell us more about the East Coast stuff?
Yes, I can. One thing I wanted to say that started the whole East Coast, West Coast rivalry, I wanted to really speak about this, it's very important, was there was a rumor going around that, the guys who set up and shot Tupac in '94 were informants for the CIA, things like that. CIA was trying to get in between the hip-hop movement and cause a big friction so that something could happen. As far as I'm concerned, that's absolutely true, and being on the East Coast and being a musician, it's been a very interesting, eye-opening experience for me, and there's definitely CIA agents inside the music movement in Philadelphia, so I don't doubt it at all that they are involved in New York City music movements and scenes and stuff like that. So I think that it's very, very believable that that was orchestrated by the CIA and that Tupac Shakur was set up on that level. And I believe that I know the situation so well as far as understanding and studying the whole conspiracy about it, where I do believe that Tupac Shakur defeated the CIA for the up-and-coming artist and all his friends and all the people that he worked with. I believe that he defeated all of that stuff, and I think it's very important for kids these days to understand that when you do get involved in the music world and you do start excelling to a certain level of power with it, the CIA doesn't look like the Matrix people. They look like your average, everyday person walking down the street. So I think that's a very important thing for people to realize,
Cool. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I'd love to elaborate a little bit on like what I've been hearing about the stuff with Bad Boy and Puffy and Biggie and shit like that. Because I saw Biggie in '94. It was a great show. I give mad respect to Biggie for that. Saw him in Philly in University City in '94. And it was before Big Papa came out. It was for the show, Russell Simmons documentary. I was about 11 years old or something when I saw it. And, I mean, he stole the whole show from everyone. So, I mean, it was great, you know. But one thing I will say is, on the East Coast in general, doing this music stuff, the thing to watch out for on the East Coast, I haven't really necessarily had the smoothest road as a musician doing this stuff, but the thing to watch out for on the East Coast is there's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of shellfish in a bucket mentality, and you do have to watch for the people that dump on other people with their negative energy and negative vibes. You know, people talk about how Suge Knight's such a bad guy, this or that. Well, there's people on the East Coast that dump on people demonically in a way that, you know, if you're not careful, you know, you're going to just have to turn into a shaman like I did. You know, shamanism was a part of my path in being a musician and understanding energy and understanding the hip-hop movement. So I'm a firm believer that if you do get into this music stuff, you know, you can't be naive about it. You can't think, oh, everything's all rosy. You have to be able to see truth for what it is. You know, you can't just see the good in everything. You got to be able to see it with a non-dualistic view and be able to see that, yeah, okay, well, energy goes in and energy comes out. You know, and I think a lot of the people on the Bad Boy crew all got wrapped up in their bullshit, and the stuff that I've heard from people that used to work with them, you know, it's all a bunch of bullshit. So, like I said earlier, you know, Tupac must be rolling around in his grave laughing about all this shit right now. So, much love to Tupac and Easy. I'd love to speak a little bit about Easy because Easy has always been a huge influence on me. And a lot of people, you know, don't like to talk about him because he died of AIDS and shit like that. But Eazy-E's probably the coolest cat out of all of them. I mean, he's a big brother to all them cats. Without Eazy, there's no Snoop. Without Eazy, there's no Dre. There's no Cube. There's no, you know, I mean, even without, you know, there's no Tupac. You know what I mean? You know, there's no Biggie without Eazy. You know, Eazy was the man who put everything on the map. He was the man with the money. He was the man with the vision. You know, Eazy-E was a visionary. You know, he wasn't just some dude that was going around fucking all these chicks. I mean, I'm sure he was doing a lot of that from what I heard. I heard he was, you know, rivaling Wilt Chamberlain with all that stuff. However, you know, you gotta understand the guy's a genius businessman, and he's a genius for putting all of his people down. You know, it's a shame what happened to him, and it's a shame that he got into certain situations with certain people that he shouldn't have. As far as money goes, but when it comes down to it, I mean, without Eazy-E, there's no West Coast hip hop movement. He put everybody down, and I'd like to give a big shout out to MC8 and Cole 187 and I'd like to give a shout out to the cat down south, Scarface, because tell you what, I've been doing all this DJing shit, and I've been going through all this stuff, and Scarface's stuff's up there with anybody else's that I've ever heard. So, you know, a lot of people sleep on Scarface and the Ghetto Boys. They had a nice run back in the day, and they deserve all the credit they should get as hip-hop legends. So, just wanted to say all that, you know. Peace.
Cool, man. Awesome, man.